All right, guys, so here's an SRT scenario for you, and let me tell you, I can't find trees like this in my neighborhood, and yet I understand they are extremely prolific in yours. But I'm at a state park about 200 miles from my house where I had heard about these types of trees. Let's take a look at this pine tree. Now that is a messy, junky pine tree. This is the kind of tree that folks will say, well, John, I can't rope climb that at all, and if I did, I need to capture the trunk, and they're right. Now, the throw ball technique I'm going to use here, you can usually, depending on the complexity of the tree, we can do it with one throw. Sometimes we need to do two throws, but I'm gonna try this, and I haven't climbed this tree. I'm gonna try to put this up on the right side of the tree. Good deal. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to take a climbing rope, and there's, this one is naked. There's nothing but a sewn eye on one side. Just a little audio overdub, as I wasn't happy with the audio quality when I got away from the camera. Right now, I am rigging up my rope, pulling it up the front of the tree and out the back of the tree. But there are a number of branches on the left side that are going to be in my way if I try to rig up a canopy anchor. The particular crotch that I went over, I deemed to be adequately strong to hold my body weight. So once I get the rope down, what I need to do is flip the rope over those branches, and I need to walk far enough away from the tree to do so. And this is another example where extra rope is your friend in this process. So there are two major dead branches I need to flip over. The first one takes me 2 flips in order to get it, and they're coming up now. That was the first flip, and that's the first one, and there's the second one. So I got it over the first branch, and now I'm starting to try to get over the second branch, and it has a lot of junk in it, and that takes several attempts. So obviously we really don't want to do this the day we're going to hunt. We're just rigging up a tree with potentially a floating anchor to return for a climb at a future occasion. So I've got that rigged. Now what do I have to do to climb it? Well, let's get in closer to the tree. And let's tie a Maverick hitch. Now, see my prior video on the Maverick hitch. Now you recall we've got different options for how to lock the Maverick. We use the soft lock, but it doesn't run back as easily. And so in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a carabiner, because if something went wrong and I decided not to climb on this, it would take some effort, but I can run this back more easily. And so now I'm going to run this up there. Again, take some effort. When I walk away and pull horizontally, I get a better cinch. So we want that to be set as horizontal as possible, because clearly some load is being placed on the base of the branch on the other side of the tree, and we have to assess its stability. So hard to do this in the dark, but clearly it's fairly tight, and I'm cinched. So there's my anchor, right? 3 parts of any SRT system are the anchor, which is a canopy anchor in the form of the Maverick. My primary port attachment will be the Longhorn Agile. I'm working with 9.5 millimeter rope and 7 millimeter cord. And my means of advancement, third part of an SRS system, is that same garter hitch foot loop. Now we can't guarantee that we can get a throw ball in every tree. There's going to be some other situations that we'll cover in the future where we might want to set our hitch with a pole. But right now, I feel pretty confident about that girth hitched around the tree. So I'm going to just run up there and be right back. Okay, so obviously I would have stopped, I would have set my platform, and if I'm allowed to trim any of this stuff, I would have done so. If I wanted to return to this tree, I would likely leave a floating anchor such that I can return to it in the future and rig that with high confidence in darkness. When rigging a floating anchor, we've got to be able to reach above the point of connection. So the first time we climb, we want to try to be aggressive, climb as high as possible. I could set a floating anchor roughly here, and then my point of attachment for future climbs would be just a little lower, right around here. All right, let me transition into rappel mode. Popping in a Munzer friction hitch. Seen me doing 100 times. Now what must I avoid forgetting, and that is to unlock the Maverick. Have to unlock it. And my retrieval line goes on the end of the rope. Now I realize that might make you nervous. You're on a quick release hitch and it's unlocked. But let's show you its properties when I get closer to the ground. I'm now going to break the Longhorn Agile with one hand. Now, you may have seen me do this before, but this is where I like to do my testing. You see how far I can fall? I can fall about 12 inches. Now I could fall about 6 inches. This is where I like to do a test. Let's see what would happen if I pulled on this a little bit. So, see, that's as hard as I could pull with one hand. And that hasn't moved. Two hands, it's moving now. Let's see if I can institute a fall. Now that's all the strength I have without just cutting through my fingers. So you get the idea. It would take a pretty big mistake. I mean, how do you get that much weight on a yellow cord? I can't imagine what would cause that to happen. But now that I got my weight off of this, right? Now that I got my weight off of it, now it's easy to release, right? Now it's easy. So these are the scenarios. Let's bring this rope down. We'll see if we can't finish the job in one take without messing anything up. I would not put a preset here. I'm much more likely to use a floating anchor in the future. And there we go. So that's just another SRT scenario for you. It's kind of SRT on the fly. You recall I just started with a bare rope and a friction hitch. So this really starts to show you the flexibility of this Longhorn Agile and how popping it on and popping it off just opens up a lot of doors. Thank you guys.